This episode was a whole lot of fun. We made it out to the coast and had a great weekend. We got a bunch of work done. We got a little bit of wreck climbing in. We got a couple podcasts in, and overall, really it was just hanging out with some awesome, like-minded individuals, talking trees and hanging out and having a good old time. So the next couple episodes will be, it'll be from the coast. Hope you guys enjoy them. I'd also like to take a moment. We've got some awesome emails from people recently, and it's just great getting the feedback. We really appreciate it. If you think about it, shoot us a 5-star review, like, comment, follow, all that good stuff. Anyways, I just want to say I appreciate everybody listening. So without further ado, we're going to take care of some business and then get right to it.
This podcast is for informational purposes only. It is not, nor is it intended to be, a substitute for professional arboriculture advice and should never be relied upon to perform or direct arboricultural work. The Tree Thinking podcast makes no representations as to the accuracy, completeness, or suitability of any information on this podcast and will not be liable for any damages arising from the use of any information in the practice of arboriculture or tree work. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the guests, and their appearance on the podcast does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The podcast and its hosts are not to be held responsible for misuse, cited, and or uncited copies of the content within this podcast by others. The Tree Thinking podcast may not be reproduced or distributed without the express written consent of the Tree Thinking podcast.
What's better than hanging out with friends talking trees? Hanging out with friends talking trees in the woods, surrounded by big spruce and hemlock, at the coast, in the dark. It was the first night at the first Tree Thinking Hangout, and you know we had to do a podcast. On this episode of the Tree Thinking Podcast, we talk monkey puzzle chucking ducks, dead tree removals, and the climbing arborist incident database. And that's all before it goes off the rails on night 1 of the Tree Thinking Hangout After Dark. All right. We're here on the deck out in the middle of the woods. It's a pretty badass spot.
Yeah.
You can only really plug into electricity at the street, so we had to run a bunch of extension cords through the woods to get them to this deck.
It's very tree thinking.
And there's no lights, and it's dark.
Very tree thinking.
And it's kind of an interesting spot. It's a beautiful spot.
Yeah. Street, I don't think is the right word for what's over there.
The spot that doesn't have trees or ferns in it.
Yeah. The gravel road.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it has gravel.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're on the Oregon coast at the spot we've been talking about for the last few episodes. We all just came down from that platform at 70 feet up, watched the sunset. Really romantic.
Yeah.
I was,
Real romantic. Us 4 and my children.
That was cool. They went up at night.
Yeah. It was getting, like, it was going dark. Not like starting to go dark, but it was going dark as we lifted off the ground.
Yeah. Yep. And I've actually never climbed in the dark.
Yeah.
So I descended in the dark, it was fun.
Yeah. No, it's a cool feeling.
dude, actually doing work in the dark is a trip. Like pulling out a handsaw with a headlamp on.
Oh, I guess I've done that then. When you put it that way.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if I've climbed because I'm thinking about emergency call-outs with like the city, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've climbed.
Okay.
I've been on call-outs where it's like a tree over the road or that one big maple that you and I had talked about before.
Predator log.
But you were in the boom truck.
Yeah, that wasn't
ground
climbing
for you.
And boom truck is interesting at night, but it's not as cool as climbing at night.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've climbed at night.
Well, now you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was interesting because you would get the platform's about 70 feet up, and going up it was all dark. But then you come through the platform, and there was a little bit of light when so me and Malia were the last ones up. And as we got up, you could still see kind of the red of the sunset and it was just you couldn't see the sun anymore, but it was just kind of shining over the horizon.
There was still some of that residual glare or whatever.
Yeah, and so it was light. It went from dark to light, and then it was still kind of light as we were going down, and it got real dark as soon as you went through the little trap door on the platform. It was black.
Yeah.
Drop down below the canopy and more light.
That door is tight. It's like the crux of the climb. It's getting through this little tiny door.
Having your harness
really is.
carabiners like grabbing onto shit when you're trying to squeeze through it.
You get all the way to the top and you're like, oh, great. That was, okay. All done. Here we go. Just got to, inch my way up here and then, oh, fuck. Here we go.
Well, and I just put a new tourniquet and safety bandages on the back of my harness, so that was like caught. Yeah, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Why did I put these on here?
Yeah,
getting rid of these.
Exactly.
We didn't introduce who's here.
Oh, well, real quick before we get any further, I'm Andrew.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Corey.
And we're out here just kind of getting started on the weekend. We just got here.
I got disconnected.
And so we're gonna be tomorrow. We've got a removal. We're not even really sure what tree we're removing. So hopefully,
I say we just start clear cutting.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what tree we're removing. So we looked at a couple, and it goes anywhere from holy shit, that's a big tree,
to an hour job.
Maybe we could zip line the whole tree just to make it look cool.
One cut, drop the whole thing.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I vote we just start clear cutting. That's my push.
Yeah, not surprising that's your vote.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
so start cutting notches and fell them where they lean.
That's right. Hey, and if it's not the right tree, you can just super glue the notch back in.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
I didn't bring glue.
I got duct tape.
Hey, that works.
Can't fix it, duck it.
That's right.
All right. Well, I guess before we get too much into the weekend, does anybody have any good stories from the field from this week?
Oh man,
you
kind of
What's
sort
up?
of.
Nice.
So we were doing a job over on kind of North River Road in Eugene, right? And there were some property owners there. It was, I don't think you were on this job, Andrew. But
No, I had the whole week off, so I definitely wasn't on
it was the one.
But this week.
There was a job before this that you might have been on.
Okay.
But I think it was just me and Sean. It was an ash tree hazard call out when we were. I can't remember the other job we were doing, but anyway, hazard call out. Anyway, the ash tree right next to it started splitting and failing as well. And the property owners were there, and so they came out on their porch, and they were watching us the whole time. And they had a giant monkey puzzle, Aricaria Ariana, right? And they were like, our seasonal mason, he was looking at it, and he was like, hey, gorgeous tree, that's really cool. You should, sell seeds for that. And they're like, oh, well, there's a couple males in the neighborhood, so these seeds are actually fertile, so they'll actually reproduce, and the seeds are actually viable, so you can actually put them in the ground and
propagate.
Yeah.
Propagate, exactly. And so they were like, hey, if you would like, you can come over here and collect some seeds. So we did that, and we got a whole bunch of these seeds, and I've got some sitting on my fridge right now. Eric, our supervisor, has a bunch in his office.
Cool.
And I think our seasonal mason, he took a bunch of them. So we're going to try to propagate those and see if they take. I know one of the males in that same neighborhood has already died. I don't know about the other one, but hopefully they're good. So
Yeah. And worth a shot.
Worth a shot.
Wait.
Monkey puzzles for everybody.
monkey
Yeah, wait. Do you guys want to be known as the crew who's planting monkey puzzles all over the city?
Hey, man.
Yeah, you've heard of Johnny Appleseed? This is Corey Monkey Puzzle.
I will take that nickname. Also, tree work is way too easy.
Yeah.
So we need more monkey puzzle.
We need a razor
Listen,
tree.
I feel like if you plant it, you trim it, you kill it. Okay. If you plant it, you're the one trimming it. You're the one removing it.
But, hey, I'm planting all these on my property. So
Okay,
every monkey
fair.
puzzle that I propagate, It's going to be mine because I'm not moving again.
Just don't hire me. Or
I think we
anybody
should
know.
plant a lot of monkey puzzles on your property.
Gorilla planting monkey puzzles.
Yeah, screw like a blackberry barrier. Just have a monkey puzzle fortress.
Monkey puzzle hedge?
Oh,
Yeah.
Hell
Oh,
yeah,
no.
man. That is an underrated hedge right there.
No, dude, a hedge maze, a monkey, because it's like it's high consequence. If you can't,
That's a high consequence.
Yeah, there's no pushing your way through a monkey puzzle hedge.
Yeah, laurel maze. Pff, no big deal.
I can get through that.
Yeah, corn maze for farmers.
Amateurs, man.
Yeah.
So it's for your guys' personal use.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a
And-
evil
and we-
evil plan from the city.
I mean, I'm going to.
It depends on what his personal use is.
That's to be found out. But
I'm a little nervous.
you should be.
Mhm.
It involves you. No, but we did obviously did it on our lunch break, and we were able to collect the seeds on our lunch break, and so it wasn't on city time. So
That's so cool.
it's
They're awesome trees.
they are except if you have to climb them
Yeah,
or do any work in them.
I love seeing them.
They're they're good from a distance,
I
just like a
once-
sweet gum.
I once had to help my stepdad remove a monkey puzzle that was dead.
That's not.
Oh, wow.
Brown and crispy,
Mm.
and he had a chuck and duck.
Oh, nice. Nice.
We were chipping monkey puzzle limbs through a chuck and duck.
So
Oh,
what got you? Was it the monkey puzzle limbs or was it the chuck and duck?
Both.
They both got you great.
Oh man, a chuck and duck's a nightmare. But if you're doing anything that like whips you or scratches you, a hawthorn and monkey puzzle. Those were the two worst.
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
And then like oak and like that kind of stuff was the god.
It seems like the math is 1 + 1 = 3 there.
Yeah.
You know, like the evilness of the chuck and duck and the evilness of the monkey puzzle somehow would combine and become more than the
More
sum of their
powerful
parts.
than them individually.
You know? Yeah.
True.
sometimes I think about like what kind of music would go with certain trees, and I pruned a pin oak this week, and I listened to Slipknot while I did.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that-
Like, all right, yeah, the
that
pin oak
is-
is a metal tree. A hawthorn is a punk rock tree. Like
Yep.
it's got cavities. It's got spikes all over.
Decay. It could just fall apart at any moment,
Yeah,
but it
you
might
fuck
just
with
sit
it
there
too
for
much.
30 years looking like it's about to fall apart.
Yep.
Yeah, and a pin oak is just it's metal, man. It's like fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You want to
I
climb
was,
me?
I was explaining to Becca, like I was just talking to Becca, I guess. There's all these sprouts on the trunk of the pin oak, and I was like, trees put out like epichlormic growth and sprouts for a reason, and a pin oak's reason is fuck you.
I think that's a fair scientific explanation.
I've seen no evidence to the contrary.
I feel like a monkey puzzle would be like death rock. You know?
Yeah.
You just like
Yeah.
you want to die the whole time. You want to talk about death and killing people.
Although to be fair, between the two, the monkey puzzle or three, between monkey puzzle, hawthorn, or black locust, I think
Black locust.
Yeah, I think I would take the monkey puzzle.
I feel like I would too. Black
Yeah.
locust has those massive spines.
And the
I've
venom,
had those things go in my knuckles, like into the cartilage.
Oh, and it hurts
It's
for days.
so
like you're,
horrible.
like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
saying, Corey, the venom. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
is that
monkey,
what it is? Venom?
it is. It is.
Is it?
Yeah, those
Or
things
venom?
some
or-
like bacteria or something?
I think it's venom. I think it's
Is
just.
it?
I think they just the black locust just straight up hates everything.
I thought it was like a bacteria or
Like a
a
snake?
bacteria.
Is it?
All
I
right.
thought so. I could be, by no means. I didn't hear it from Sean O'Brien or something.
Right,
you know?
right, right.
Okay, black locust is black metal then.
Black metal
Yeah,
for sure.
there you go.
Monkey puzzle's like deathcore.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Hawthorn is punk rock. I love that one.
Yeah, that fits.
That's pretty great.
Yeah,
Dirty
monkey
cavity.
puzzle. If you take your time and handle the branches right and do it right, you not take giant loads, you can get away unscathed with the monkey puzzle.
If you're wearing a sweatshirt.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta if you have gloves, if you got the sweatshirt,
Yeah.
but like with a bad black locust or a bad
There's no
hawthorn,
getting
you
away
can
from
take
it.
every precaution and go as slow as you want, and you're still gonna
You're
get just slammed
Just
with thorns.
stab every fucking time you do anything.
You can be wearing a tin shirt, leather gloves.
Yeah.
It won't fucking matter.
I've actually
Game
never
over.
worked on one.
On a monkey puzzle.
Consider
Yeah.
yourself lucky.
I haven't worked on a lot of them, but Yeah.
I remember, I mean, I'd be driving around and you see a dead one and you're like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to get that call. You know what I mean? Is it time? Is it going to be me?
Dude, I love that feeling. Like, so I just recently did a really crispy birch job in my old neighborhood, right? And I watched this thing die.
Uh-huh.
I think it died in 2018. For those of you who are listening to this podcast in the future, it's 2021 right now, right? So this thing was checking out in 2018, and I watched this thing die, and I'm like, wow, all right. Well, I should probably drop off like a business card or something. Maybe, see if they should, have me come out to remove it. But I'm moving anyway. This won't be my neighborhood anymore. Whatever. So, but we did make friends with the people across the street, and they referred me to that job. So I got the pleasure of removing this crispy birch tree right next to a house and right in between some primaries. So this one was probably 40-ish, 50-ish feet tall. So it's above the primaries. You're climbing above the primaries. And fortunately, they had kept it away from the primaries, obviously. But it still was like extra crispy. Like you didn't even have to sink your spurs in. It was just like put them in and they just mush.
Sunk in.
Yeah. It was wonderful.
I mean, that's why I carry your business cards with me.
I know.
So that when I see crispy monkey puzzles, I'm like, oh, perfect. I know this great arborist.
Spade tree preservation.
Yeah.
Hey, he specializes in this shit. He'll love this. But yeah, no, I like every day we'd walk our dog in that neighborhood. And every day I'd look at that tree and I'd be like, I'm so glad that I'm not the one who has to remove that. I'm so glad I'm not the one who has to remove that. And then sure enough, that karma came back for me.
For me, so far in my career, I feel like birches are the worst ones to take down when they're super dead.
Oh man.
Like I will,
Scary.
I'll literally climb. I've done a couple for removals where they were like crispy, like gone. And there's vertical cracks. You're climbing up past those, and you're sending logs off of it. And I felt fine.
They make 2x4s.
I felt fine with that.
Yeah.
But I went up, and you're going up like 80 feet past vertical cracks, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. It's fur. And then I did this like 25, 30 foot birch that was just super crispy. And I got up near the top, and I didn't have to do anything to get my spikes in at all. And I just started kind of freaking out because I would have to climb, quite a bit far past that. Nothing else to rig it off of. Couldn't negative rig it because there was a house right there.
Right.
I couldn't, notch it forward. So I took my chances, and I slash cut the top through the canopy right next to a house.
Hell yeah.
And it went perfectly in between there. Didn't touch. There was a window right there, and it went perfectly in between there, smashed into pieces on the concrete. And I was like, yeah, I didn't want to climb up any further than that.
Dude, the slash cut is underrated.
It is, yeah.
It turns that top into a stake, and it just drives it into the ground. It's a new tree.
Well,
If you don't have any brush above you,
calling it the slash cut is not giving it the credit it deserves. It's the salami cut.
Oh,
the salami cut.
cut.
Okay.
Anyway,
closely
continue.
related to the bastard cut.
Just with an undercut first. Right?
No, the bastard cut is just
The bastard cut's straight through the back.
straight through. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
The salami cut has some thought put into it.
Only a little bit, but it's more than the bastard cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have rigged that thing, but dude, I just did not feel comfortable about it. I was wiggling it around, and I was like pulling punk out with my spikes as I got up there, and I was like, nah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, this makes me think. I actually had this thought earlier today. I don't know why it was going through my mind, but I remember when I first got into the industry, you were kind of told that tree work is dangerous. It's super dangerous, I kept hearing that. You would hear statistics like, more arborists die than cops or something. Who knows if that's true or whatever. Probably not. But feel like I heard that. But it's not dangerous. There's a risk. But if you're smart, you can, it's not going to be dangerous. It can be risky. But also if you're smart and safe, it's neither of those.
Your inherent techniques can make it.
There's a risk because it's like this tree, this natural thing that you may not be able to tell everything. But if you're taking your time, you're smart about things, I don't think it's dangerous or risky.
And I think that goes back to our industry because there's people that fail
Profession.
into our industry, our
Profession.
profession, yeah. Well, and for some it's an industry,
So
for
for some.
others it's a profession. But thank you for correcting me.
I'm just
Because
I'm just calling back.
no, it's true. I'm serious. It's some people fail into it. You know, they just it's the only job I could get was hauling brush type of a thing, and then just figure it out. And they don't really have a love for the rigging and the climbing and doing it right. And those are the same people that are lumped into with statistics as people that really take everything very serious and try to learn everything about it, learn how to rig, learn all that stuff. And so it's kind of, for somebody that takes it serious and really puts the time into learning it, you kind of have that thought of like, well, it isn't that crazy. I mean, we are up off the ground, but I understand how, much weight this type of wood can hold. I've done enough time climbing an oak where I know the way it is strong, and, I know how to do a rigging system to minimize the forces on the weaknesses of the trees, and and then there's the guy that's just like, fuck it, sender.
I want to go home early today. Let's just do it.
Everyone has seen those YouTube fail compilations, right?
Yeah.
And it's like,
I haven't. What are you talking about?
well, Corey, we got a night in store for us.
Yeah.
But
Corey fails.
so those
Every
are
day.
tree work related accidents. I
Yeah.
mean, they're not done by tree professionals, right?
Yeah.
But that stuff probably gets lumped into those statistics that you hear.
Guaranteed.
That's why, insurance rates are crazy for us.
You'll see
Mhm.
the same guys that are on, a ladder, and then they, notch down a big ass limb, break their leg because they're in the middle of a crotch, and the limb comes in through there. They're that statistic too, because they're inherently working with a tree.
Yeah, and it's just someone who has a chainsaw
Yeah, exactly.
and confidence.
Misguided,
courage. I don't know what
misplaced
it is.
confidence.
I wouldn't say that. I would just say
Just has cojones.
not even that.
Yeah.
It's
Like-
just like
Has
lack
plenty of
understanding.
Yeah.
space in their skull.
they got room.
That was a great way to put that.
That was very polite. I feel like the news and like major outlets can make it sound like a big deal, including those kind of people, but maybe like I can't remember if it's the ISA or the TCIA that has like an actual fatality and
TCIA.
accident. The accident report, where they actually log everything that's reported to them. I feel like that's probably more accurate.
And even that has some limits associated with it because it's
Yeah. I mean, I think anybody can really make a report,
yeah.
so it
Which-
might be skewed.
Which is, I mean, it's good that anybody can make a report because that's how they get
Yeah.
their statistics. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's kind of
It still skews it a little bit,
it does.
but not nearly as much as like, a news outlet hearing about a homeowner killing himself
Right.
doing a tree job.
Right.
And they're like, oh, tree work's like so dangerous.
This is
Nobody should do it.
This is why you don't cut trees.
Yeah.
Don't run a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. I wonder what the numbers look like if you take away the homeowners and you take away people, I mean, how do you draw that line? Where's that line in the sand between the hack and the professional? Because there's a lot of guys that are really good that have died doing this.
Right. Yeah. And there's a lot of guys who claim that they're really good and they're, not.
Yeah, that's
and then
true.
And then they still die. Like they have all the great equipment. They have they've been working for this company for 20-something years, and then they send a top and it peels out on them and they rip their guts out on the top gut. And it's just,
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
that happens.
A really cool database is climbingarborist.com. I remember a couple years ago he started this where it's an incident database. You go to Dan's website, climbingarborist.com, and there's an incident database link. You hit that and you could put in, if something happened at your job site, say there's nothing major, close call or whatever, you can put it in there.
Oh, wow.
And I think, or it was bad, it wasn't a close call. It was
Yeah.
bad. You could put it in there, and I think it's important because people can read those and learn from that.
Totally.
Definitely.
What
Aren't there
went wrong?
aren't there slight descriptions of what happened too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I kind of just want to go.
You got a couple
Let's just click
examples?
on the first one.
Yeah. What do we got?
So Date unknown. It was in New Zealand. Description of incident. When rigging one of two stems that were close to each other, I had a tight cut to make next to the rigging rope and cut the rope. Okay, so rigging two stems that were really close.
Reagan's probably running up one of the stems.
Yeah, and he cut the rope. And then the next category is contributing factors. He was not focusing. He was being lazy. Or they were. Incident review and preventative measures is the next category. Take your time when you work and move ropes away if needed before cutting. So, he's got this whole form you fill out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of go through it.
That's great.
With the observation of it, is it the person that makes the report making that observation, or someone else saying something?
Yeah, so right when you get to this page, submit an incident, you're going to go through all those. So it's whoever submits it.
Okay, so they're like, this is how I fucked up. This is how I should have avoided fucking up.
Yeah, it's basically saying I accept that I messed up and this could help other people because I know what I should have done.
Gotcha.
Here's what it is.
Which is super important in the profession because you have, there's a lot of ego that's kind of inherent to this job, right? But if you're able to say, hey, I screwed up and this is how you can learn from it, like I feel like that's such a crucial part of this profession.
Yeah.
And it's something that is lacking in some regards, but it's also like if you peruse any kind of like Facebook groups and stuff, you'll see a lot of people like they'll post their fuck ups and it's super great. Like I have a lot more respect for somebody who's going to post their fuck up than somebody who's going to post like this awesome removal that just went super bomber and maybe they cut out a few things because it didn't go quite right,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes more courage, that's for sure.
It does.
That anybody who's shared a video of them screwing up knows that feeling of like, oh man, everybody's going to see me do this,
Right. But, maybe they stopped two or three other arborists from doing that same exact thing.
Totally. No, there's a good reason to do it. That could be fun to go through those lists of on the Climbing Arborist.
Yeah.
And then, pick the best ones, the ones that we think are most helpful.
Yeah.
And then kind of read them and analyze them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when he first put it up, I saw him at a comp shortly after and told him, I thought it was an awesome idea and stuff. And he was like, it's not getting the response he thought.
Yeah.
I think it was like just a story from him or something that was on there.
Oh.
But now it says 1 of 14, and I don't know if that was 14 pages worth or just 14 incidents. But anyway, if something happened, like even if it's minor, people can learn from it. So go on there and submit your story. I got to start doing that too.
Yeah.
Me too. And if you're trying to get into the profession or if you're trying to learn, go and read those stories.
Yeah.
That's a database. Like it's great to have a good mentor and you need a good mentor. But another good way that you can broaden your experience is through the internet and watching YouTube videos, reading these experiences that other arborists have. That is how you're going to up your game from, just a super green individual who's coming into the profession versus someone who's more experienced. The experienced person is going to have all of these experiences under their belt. But if you're trying to, climb up the ladder, that's a good way to do it. Climb the tree, I guess.
And climbingarborist.com in general is just an incredible resource for anyone getting into the industry. Like there is the incident database, but there's also like knot tying and climbing techniques, like just so much instructional shit. I learned so much from Dan.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
it's
great.
Once I remember learning how to do stuff, and then you go home and you're like, I want to learn more, but I didn't really know like what the hell to type into the internet, because I don't know it. It's brand new. I'm like, I know a bowline and a clove hitch. All right, what the hell? Where do I go from here?
Bowline take top out.
Yeah. I don't know how I found Climbing Arborist, but I ended up finding him, and I learned so much from that guy.
And we're lucky because we're on the Pacific Northwest, so we're in the same, like we see him at climbing comps and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're just so fortunate that we're we're kind of in this area. But it's great that if we're thinking back to, you know, like early 2000s before the internet was as ubiquitous as it is now, if you heard about somebody like Dan Holiday, like you might see him at a training like once in your lifetime, versus now you can just Google his name and find him on climbingarborist.com, and, you know,
All of his stuff.
all of his stuff is right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I learned a lot from him. Educated Climber, August Hunnicky, and actually Traver. You guys know Traver and Trees on Instagram. Traver O'Hearn.
Yep.
He would post, I think he still does it on YouTube. It's the full removal from beginning to end, no edits, raw footage. And I would just like put that on while I'm like doing dishes at my place or whatever. And I would see, that's how I learned span rigging. I'm like,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I can apply that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
And,
I haven't spent enough time looking at some of those resources online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get into that a little more. I've definitely learned tricks, you know, like the other day we were rigging that big wood, and I was using the daisy chain.
Yeah.
The daisy chain knot. I got that from the climbing arborist.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw him do that, and so I was like, oh, that is slick.
Yeah.
Because
It is
especially when
so
you
cool.
got big wood and the ground guy can just kind of
Yeah.
pull the daisy chain out.
And we had our seasonal. He's relatively green. Like this is his first experience in the tree care industry, profession, and like he picked it up right. Sorry, he picks it up right away.
Yeah.
And that's how simple it is. Versus trying to untie a bowline that's maybe underneath the branch or whatever.
Well, and then I started making him send the knot up daisy chained. So I'd make him daisy chain it a few times just so that he knew exactly how it was going every time. And I think it was starting to annoy him because he was just like, I'd be like, do at least 3 on there.
Just pull it out.
What's that?
Then you just pull it out.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it was nice because we were pulling it up to the pulley, so the daisy chain would stop it when it get to the pulley, and then I'd just be able to pull it out real quick.
It
too.
annoyed him, but he remembered it, man.
Yeah, he remembered it, and he even started just doing one daisy chain on there. I'd be like, 3. You got to send me 3 every time.
You were on him.
Yeah. But that's how you learn. Everybody's been at that point where like, I don't want to daisy chain this again. But you know what? It's repetition is what kind of hammers it in, you know?
Muscle memory, man.
Yeah, my buddy Sean started doing that knot at work. It's
Nice.
super slick.
Yeah.
It
I'm actually
comes
not
out
familiar.
so easy. And yeah, we'll go over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're like chunking down a piece of wood or something, you do like what is it actually called with the half hitch and a running bowline? Isn't there a name for it?
Probably, but I just call it a half hitch, and then you girth hitch it, and then you put a half hitch below it.
Okay.
And then you would do like your cut right there.
Okay. But so with the daisy chain knot, you do your like half hitch, and then where you would tie that like running bowline. Don't you do like a twist in it?
You do a twist to create a loop, and then it goes. So, it goes around the tree, and then the rope goes underneath the rope, and then you would tie a running bowline there, right?
Yeah.
So instead of tying the running bowline, it goes under, and you put a twist in it, and then you take and put a loop through that twist, and then a loop through,
And then you just start daisy
and a
chaining.
loop through, and it's
Oh,
a daisy chain, and then you just need to leave enough tail so that your last daisy chain, you just feed the rope all the way through, and so you got plenty, so you don't have to worry about it coming out or anything.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's strong and yeah, it's super easy to untie. Just pull
You
it.
guys should show me that sometime
Yeah,
tomorrow.
we'll do that
Yeah.
tomorrow when we're doing the takedown.
Sounds
Hell
good.
But yeah, my buddy Sean was using it at work, and I knew I'd seen it from Climbing Arborist. I'm pretty sure that's where he saw it too.
Yeah.
His last name's Clotton, so I just started calling it the Clotton Hitch.
Nice.
Oh,
Another Clotton Hitch, yeah.
that guy gave me a really good client recently.
Sean?
Actually,
Dude.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
I haven't met him yet, and we follow each other on Instagram. But he gave me a recommendation to a really cool dude.
Yeah, he's a
And
good guy.
he's like, that guy's called me like 3 times to come back and do different stumps for him.
Nice.
And yeah. Anyway, appreciate you, Sean.
Sean's starting a food truck. So he was working
Really?
with us, and he got his arborist cert, and then, not too long ago, he decided he wanted, I think he had owned this business prior. Sean, I hope you don't mind me telling your story right now. And maybe I'll butcher it, but whatever. He owned this spot in Portland. It's a Vanagon, a Volkswagen Vanagon, and the food cart was called Volkswaffle, and he sold waffles and coffee.
Such a great name. Such a great name.
And then I think, through time, the business was sold, and he recently bought it back and decided to put all his energy back into that. And so hopefully we'll be seeing that around Eugene here soon.
Oh,
His Vanagon with bomber coffee and waffles.
I'll be there.
Oh,
And whatever else he comes up with.
that
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
amazing.
Is he going to change the name to something tree related?
No, it'll be Volkswaffle.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Volkswaffle's badass.
I wouldn't change it.
Maybe he'll
Yeah,
change
me
it, but last I knew it was Volkswaffle.
Maybe he'll just offer a menu item that's like the tree or the arborist or something like
But also, maybe I shouldn't have said shit. No one steal that idea.
that. We'll just bleep it out in post.
Yeah. Well, does anybody else have any good stories from the week?
Not really. I've been off all week too.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Ah,
Dude, you guys are
Sweet.
chilling.
Yo,
Yeah.
Pulling
to
the
the
mire.
max.
Yeah.
To the max.
I actually went on an anniversary with my girlfriend, and we were gone for like 3 days during the week. So
Where'd you go?
we went to Rhododendron, and there's this really cool cabin called the Hide and Seek, and it's just beautiful. It's just 30 minutes outside of Portland, so like not too long of a drive to get back into town, back to the big city. And I can't remember the square footage of it, but it's all like, it's a log cabin, all like real wood, floors, walls, every bit of it was just pure. And big walk-in shower. It had a bidet.
Nice.
It had a
Fuck yeah,
sauna.
bidet.
It had a sauna, which was this basically like, those big distilling barrels that they use for liquor.
Yeah.
It was basically like one of those cut in half with a door on it, and it was just this little 2-person sauna, and it was like the best thing ever.
I'm picturing I don't even know the gallon size, but a barrel that's like chest high.
No, it was one of these.
Squatting in there. Like a 55-gallon barrel
This is so
cut in half.
comfortable. I'm so glad we paid this money.
Yeah, it was.
Question is, did you get drunk in the sauna?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
it was not.
Just from the ambient air, or
Oh,
did you
no.
have to take alcohol in with you?
We took alcohol.
That's-
No, we just drank a whole shit ton and then got
okay.
in the sauna.
Hey, that's admirable.
Yeah. I bought like a fifth of Patron, and then we got like super drunk the last night there,
That's great.
and we got in the sauna, and it was this place was awesome. I would highly recommend it. It's only like $150 a night
It's called
Really?
the hide and
for a
seek.
B&B. Yeah,
Did you play hide and seek?
we should have.
God damn it! I was going to ask that. But I
We
thought it was
should've.
inappropriate.
Well, looks like
Next time.
Yeah, you gotta go back.
The lady did give us a discount for 10% off. So
Because
I'm
you
like,
found her.
Oh man.
That's awesome. I'll
But
check it out.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I would recommend it.
Sweet.
Nice.
We did more habitat snags, man.
Sweet.
Do them
Yeah.
all the time.
I saw some posts on the internet, and it just seemed like Snag Central with Green Tree.
Yeah. I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this property.
Do you just
Maybe
float,
6.
do you guys just float them for every bid? Is that how you get so many, or is it just like certain clients?
I think
are into
Nate definitely promotes it. And he may even offer a discount. I feel like there was ISA sends out a magazine like Tree Stories or something like that. Does that sound familiar to you guys?
No.
Yeah,
I don't-
kind of.
Nate wrote a story about, we talked about it, Scott Altenhuff's pine removal at the Raptor Center here.
Yeah.
So Nate wrote a story in that. They published it in that thing, and I think in that he had mentioned that he will offer a discount for a habitat snag. I could be wrong. If he, he'll know. He can correct me, and I'll correct myself on the next podcast. But yeah, it benefits the forest. It's fun to do.
Oh, so much
You know,
fun.
Yeah.
and they look cool too. And
Yeah.
it's
You feel like a goddamn artist after the end of it.
yeah.
I can't draw a straight line to save my life, but if Fuck yeah, I can do a habitat tree.
Yeah.
I've only done one super janky habitat stop, and I'd like to learn more.
Yeah, it's fun. Our buddy, or our coworker Mark's getting really into it, and his snags are, he's one of the best out there, is what
Nice.
we're saying.
Yeah.
He builds like breakfast nooks for the birds.
The Hilton of habitat space.
Yeah.
Little patio for brunch.
Yeah, but on that job, Becca will be here tomorrow. I don't know how these podcasts are going to come out. Becca will be here next week. She'll be here tomorrow. I think we maybe record another one, and maybe she'll tell the story. But so I was contract climbing at the beginning of the week, and then I showed up at that job after they had already been there for 2 days, and I was there for the last day. So there was like 2 more trees, a spruce and a good-sized fir. I would guess that fir was, if not 100 feet, it was close to 100 feet.
That's a good size fir.
Yeah.
And Becca, we all know her. She's been climbing for, how long do you think Becca's been climbing?
Year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, that sounds right. 2 years.
Maybe
2 years-ish. But it was her biggest tree to date. Well, here, let's start here. I show up on the job site. It's my first day there. They had been there for 3 days. They had line set and rigging set in the trees already
Okay.
from the day before. So I show up and Becca's line's in the big tree, and I'm like, you want it? Go for it. And yeah, she did it.
Hell yeah.
It was cool. She rigged it out, rigged down all the branches, and then took a big top. I actually just posted it on our Instagram recently, so you can go check that out.
Fuck,
Big
Looked like
top.
she killed it, man.
Yeah,
that was
and she-
awesome to see.
Badass.
In Becca fashion, she goes, woo! She's like rocking back and forth. Just having a great time.
Did she scream White Claw?
No.
Damn it.
And then it was about lunchtime, so she came down after the top blew out, and I think, I don't know if like nerves, anxiety, whatever, feelings, she was going over feelings for that. I mean, that's crazy to
Oh, yeah.
your first tree like that, there's a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
And she wasn't sure if she wanted to finish it. She was kind of thinking I would go and finish the wood. But we just kept talking, I'm like, yeah, I can totally do it, but let's just chill, have some lunch if you're feeling all right, we got to flip like 2 logs out of there and you're good to go. So part of this project was, is it hugiculture or hugiculture? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Isn't
Anyone?
that where you
No
like
idea.
bury a log?
Yeah.
And you like promote the fungal growth.
Yeah, hugiculture.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
So we were trying to keep the logs as big as we could, and we had this huge drop zone. So we're flipping these giant logs, and then I think the plan is you kind of bury them with soil, and that moisture's in the logs, and it breaks down and it's just nutrient-rich soil and stuff. That's the idea of it.
Do you just do the one log, or do you put like brush in there also?
I think you can do like brush and other composts and stuff to kind of like, heat it up, get
Yeah.
it going.
And then do you have
Interested.
to
I've seen that with flower beds
Yeah.
or garden beds. We've put like a bunch of sticks down before they put their topsoil
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I've seen that with garden beds where you like dig the soil out and you dig it down a ways and then put like branch material in there,
Yeah.
starting bigger chunks and then getting to smaller chunks, and then you put the soil on top of it. I've never done it, so I
Yeah.
have no idea how well it works, but it's kind of interesting idea.
Do you have to inoculate it with certain fungal
I think
spores,
it's-
or is it just kind of like natural in the
I
soil?
think it just naturally gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe you could,
You probably
if
could.
you wanted to promote
Yeah, I
a
don't
certain
see why not.
species or whatever.
Yeah. But so we were doing that, leaving the logs as big as we can, and we're kind of arranging them a certain way. Like the client had an idea of like where the mounds would be and kind of had this vision or whatever. So where am I at with the story?
Sending logs
Well,
out.
yeah, we
Sending
came
logs,
down-
yeah.
You're
we
talking
came
at
down
lunch
for
with
lunch.
Becca.
Yeah, we came down for lunch, and it was kind of up in the air whether I was going to finish it or not. But it was kind of pushing her to do it. Like, yeah, let's chill out and have lunch, and if you're feeling up for it, you can go do it. It's only 2 logs. We'll flip them out. You'll be all good. And yeah, she went for it,
Hell yeah.
and we
Nice.
flipped out a huge log. Right away. We had the
Hell
time.
yeah.
We had the space, and
Hey man,
She crushed it. It was awesome.
Yeah, props to her.
Yeah. There's not a lot of people in the world who would do what she did, what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a huge accomplishment.
But
Super proud of her. I can't wait to hear her side of the story. So that's my side.
Yeah.
definitely.
Next time we'll hear her side.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
huge props to you too, Jamie. Like that's huge. Like I remember coming up in the profession, like doing that exact same thing on it was an Oregon white oak, and I had gone up and taken all the tops out of it, and then we got to lunch, and my lead worker at the time, he was like, "Oh, you don't want to finish that?" And he just, he kind of goaded me, which was the wrong thing to do. He didn't make me do the work in the correct way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. I get it. And another thing she was stressed about was time. Like, she's like, I don't know if I can do this fast enough. I'm like, you don't have to do it fast. You just do it. We'll talk it through. I think you have plenty of time to do this tree, so don't worry about it.
Slow, smooth.
I was about to say slow is steady and steady is fast. That's how it works.
It's not steady. It's smooth.
Dude. That's become like an ongoing thing with me and Corey.
Yeah. Sweet. Thanks,
Every
Corey.
goddamn day.
For me, I did like my largest fir to date, and like props to her, like honestly, because I did a large one, and I was negative rigging logs. At the time, it was in the middle of the big wildfire that we had very close to Marcola.
Nice.
So there was ash raining from the sky. I was feeling like super lightheaded, feeling like not right.
Feels kind of apocalyptic.
Yeah, like red sky, ash falling from the sky. And I was in there doing this big fir. I got all the brush out, speed line the top out. That was fun. I did the first 2 negative rigs, and then I just started feeling really bad. And I just started to feel like I couldn't do it. I had set up one of my rigs. I had put a face cut in it, set up my rings right below the face cut, and I started tying it off. And my boss at the time noticed that I had my my lifeline around the rigging rope, which is a big no-no.
Oh, yeah.
when you're taking a negative rig.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate him catching that, because that would have been a bad deal.
That could have been, yeah.
So I noticed myself, skipping steps, not checking myself, and the nerves were there because I'd never negative rigged wood that large, never done a tree that large. Nerves were definitely going, and I had to come down. I had to let him take care of the rest of it. So nerves definitely got the best of me that day.
Yeah, and that's a flip side of it. There's nothing wrong with that either. Like until you build that experience and until you build that muscle memory to be rigging out those large pieces of wood, that's inherently scary. Like you're removing the thing that you're tied into, and not only that, but you're taking giant chunks out of that thing. And then as you drop those chunks, it swings you about.
Into the into the log that you're tied into, and
like every part of your brain should be telling you this is bad.
Yeah,
don't do this. Go down to the ground.
Yeah,
but the more you do it, and the more you do it in a more controlled situation, the more you do it in small pieces, and then work your way up.
Yeah,
it gets better. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I was taking probably 28-inch logs, probably 8-footers, in this pretty small space. At the time, we didn't have anything smaller than a 660, so I was lugging that thing up the whole time, and that was a nightmare.
660 is a light saw.
I would have taken an 880 up with me, but I didn't feel like being a bitch. But anyway, yeah, I just couldn't finish it. So honestly, props to her for working through those nerves, because I've definitely succumbed to them before.
Oh yeah,
and everybody does. I mean, it's even as an experienced arborist, sometimes it just happens.
There's no feeling like negative rigging a top. I still my heart every time I do it, man. It's like,
Yeah.
woo!
Yeah. And then that
it's
adrenaline.
it's a drug.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
think Becca
100%.
even said that. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
This is
And-
a drug. I'm ready to get.
that woo!
I'm already
that,
high,
you
but
know,
I'm ready to get higher.
yeah, everybody knows that feeling also of when it goes and it works out. You know, she's all woo up there, but yeah, or, you know,
yeah.
Yeah,
It's good
sometimes
to-
you really can't help but make those noises.
No.
For
It's
me.
fun, yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
have some kind of release because it's just like you got so much of that pent up, like everything.
Yeah. For your like there's like that anxiety and then there's like the anticipation and the excitement that's coming up and you kind of just let it all out when that top comes off and it doesn't all break out from underneath you and you're like, oh, I'm fine. And
Go-
you're like, oh shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a bigger time. next time.
Going back to learning from mistakes, others' mistakes. What'd you say with David Anderson? A smart person. Yeah.
a smart person learns from their mistakes and a wise person learns from other
Others'
people's
mistakes.
but-
Yes.
So I'm
So-
a smart person. I'm not a wise person.
Yeah. So
I
back,
Corey make no mistakes.
Yeah, I just have to make the same mistakes over.
Well, and I think the first part of it is a dumb person doesn't learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
A smart person
Hey,
learns from their
I learn from my
mistakes.
mistakes. I just don't listen when somebody else tells me to do something. That's all.
so Becca's about to take the top. She's about to do her back cut. She did her face cut and stuff. And I say, you want to make sure you're standing behind that before it goes. You want to be opposite of the fall. She's like, oh, I know. I saw. I've heard your story and talked to you.
I've seen the
Right
video.
on,
I've seen the video on YouTube.
Yeah.
You don't want that side
Yeah.
that side movement like smashing you.
Yeah, I had a gaff out. It's on our Instagram if you want to go watch that.
That was epic.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No choking system. Just like squeezing the spar.
God.
Yeah.
Didn't fall out of the tree though.
Yeah. And I wanted to make another point real quick about the habitat project. They do work. So on our lunch break, like I said, the crew had been there 2 days prior to me. So the habitat snags that they made 2 days prior while we're eating lunch, bunch of birds were checking out all those little holes and nooks and crannies in those trees.
Oh, that's
We're
so
just
cool.
Eating food and watching them. Like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. They're going in there. Like, they're in Mark's breakfast nook. They're checking shit out.
You guys are eating food and they're up there pecking at bugs.
Immediately 2 days later, a day later,
That's so cool.
Yeah.
As long as you do it right and you don't have any fucking starlings around.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Like research, I guess, to create a habitat snag, I guess you could research like, the species in your area and try to mimic, what they want. Or like you were saying, Andrew, the coolest thing is like Google a picture of a torn out tree or whatever
Yeah.
and try to mimic that.
Yeah. Well, that's the goal, is to make it as
Natural
real
as
as possible.
Yeah. So the other day I was doing a big oak reduction. It was a white oak with Ganoderma just about to topple over, Could easily have been a full removal, but instead of doing that, we opted for not quite a habitat snag, but just like basically topping the tree, but it's able to like still be there and sprout and do its thing. You know what I mean? Rather than full removal.
Which works for a white oak.
Yeah. And I looked over and there was this rip out, this top blown out of this fir right next to me, and immediately I like took a mental note of like what that looked like so I can try to copy it, because it was like this super long, probably like 12-foot rip out down the trunk, and it came to this really sharp point. And I almost want to do that on a snag, but you also have to think like that might look scary in the client's backyard if you make this like giant needle. But it's cool whenever you see like a natural break to kind of take a mental note of that.
But maybe not. I've started using chisels in those.
That's
in
awesome.
in those situations. Like you can just get into the underneath the bark or the cambium, and you can do those long tear outs without actually
Oh, cool.
compromising the structural integrity of the heartwood. or any of
Cool.
that.
Yeah, Corey will take a hammer and get the clod end up there and just start clawing chunks of the tree out.
You're goddamn right. I will.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
I feel like they're getting more popular, habitat snagging.
Yeah.
I think I keep seeing the Sperry guys are always posting about them.
Oh yeah, yeah. They sell a bunch of those.
Yeah, and actually, the project we were working on is by a cedar one that you did while you were with the city.
Oh yeah,
that you drove me by a couple times.
Yeah,
incense
it's
cedar.
on like 22nd in Amazon,
Yeah.
somewhere in
Yep.
there, or 22nd in Madison.
Yep.
between Madison and Jefferson. I
Yep,
think
right in that area.
It's in
I
the-
like that one.
Drove
That's
right
one of my
by it.
favorites
Yeah.
that I've done.
That was a cool one.
It looks good even for your work.
Yeah, I know. Every now and then.
Every now and then they come out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny when you start thinking about it as far as looking at trees and trying to mimic a natural rip out. You really start analyzing, you see rip outs and you're like, oh, I wonder how I could make that. I wonder, okay, if I carve in there, if I get a weird point over here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
start spending that mental energy on breaking down broken chunks of wood.
How do I mimic nature but make it look like nature did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing Becca's side of that story.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that really stoked me out when I saw her send that top, and it wasn't a bad ride at all, but it kind of moved her around a little bit, and it was like right on. That's a legit top.
Yeah. And so when I kind of like teach how to do removals, it's like you're going to set your rigging point about where you want to take the top, usually. Like your primary rigging point, right? And maybe you'll run around with a redirect or whatever. And they had talked about putting it there, and they're like, that's where we'll take the top. And I was like, that's way too big. You got to keep going higher, but it's kind of hard to say that when you can already tell she's dealing with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, you gotta keep going up. You gotta keep going up. And finally we got to a spot where I'm like, yeah, that's totally doable. Like we can do that. Our coworker Mark is just a badass on ropes. I know he's fine. And yeah, it all worked out. It was really cool.
Yeah, it seemed like a smooth
The
ride.
top was a little bigger than, like, I was walking all around the yard getting vantage points. I'm like, oh yeah, it's doable. But once with most pieces of brush, when they come down, you're like, whoa, that was a little
That's
bigger
way
than
bigger
it
than I
looked.
thought it was.
Yeah.
Same from like before you climb, you're like, okay, that's not bad. And you get
Yeah.
up there, you're like, damn, this is big.
Yeah. I always try to get them to go higher. I always try to get people to go as high as I can. Just nope, go a little bit higher.
Yeah,
go
yeah.
a little bit higher.
Yep.
Because it's always nicer to take a smaller top.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
just feels good.
And gaining that confidence in the smaller diameter wood is a big deal
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with like we're thinking about what tree we're gonna remove here, and you're thinking about that one over there, which is like what, a foot diameter, like right there.
At the base.
And it just tapers up from there, and you're gonna have to climb that thing to take a top small enough to fit that space. So gaining that confidence for that small of wood to spike into that and trust it,
Yeah.
it's a big deal for new climbers. For me, my legs start shaking around the 12-inch point. So if I even started up that thing, I was like, oh fuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it took
But-
me a while, and that was why my gaff out video, like, that was a big part of
Yeah.
it, is I'm like scared to go any higher.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh yeah, no, that's totally doable. Let's do that top there.
Yeah. I mean, the strength of especially live fibers,
Yeah.
is so
Oh, yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
Vertically, it's insane. So
Yeah, I remember my
you
boss put it to me. He's like, imagine like a 2x4 trying
Yeah.
to snap that.
Yeah, exactly.
With your body weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You get some insane leverage, maybe. But
Yeah.
Not
But
just with your body weight.
that's what a 100-foot pole is insane leverage.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
True. Yeah.
Nah.
That's what you always think.
Yep.
It's like it's a 2x4, but I got like 100-foot pry bar on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you make it 10 pounds and it's not 100 pounds,
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
Well,
Take a small top.
Yep. And it like, yeah, you don't want to go too big
Yeah.
or too small for sure. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You don't want to push it and make it a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it might be 100 feet tall, but it's not a 100-foot pry bar because you're not at a 45-degree angle.
Exactly.
There-
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into that. But
So
yeah,
much to think about.
I always like trying to go up and trying to see if I can't hold the top.
Yeah.
Taking it for
That's a good.
yeah, that it not every tree you can. That's not just can you make it up there to do it? But every now and then you can get one where you can hold the top and you're like, all right, that's a win.
Yeah.
I got into one that surprised me a few weeks ago. So doing a bunch of oak release. So removing a bunch of firs around traditionally oak habitat, right? And I got up into the top of it, and I'm like, okay, we can take this top here. It's not too bad. There's a few larger branches above me, but they're not awful. But what I couldn't see from my vantage point was all these branches were reiterations. So this thing had lost its top, but they were all reiterations. So there was an insane amount of weight above me. And so I went in, I made my face cut, and I looked at my back cut and was just getting ready to start it. And then I looked up again, and I'm like, this isn't going to go over the way I want it to go. Like, there's a bunch of reiterations here that's going to, sit back on my bar, and it's going to come back in my face, basically. So I had to reach up with a pole saw and take off some of those reiterations to get it to go the way I wanted. But that's one of the things with conifers. You'll have these tops that don't look too bad, but there's a lot of weight up there because it's all that tree is like redirecting all of its growth right into that top section right there.
Mm-hmm. Charles and I with Urban Arbor Care, we went up and did some contract work for Arbor Pro up in Portland, Lake Oswego area. And we did this massive fir where either it had topped itself or somebody had topped it previously. And, 60 feet up, it's just fat trunk. I think it was like 56 dBH or something like that. It was a fatty. And 60 feet up, it came out, and the large limbs had reiterations coming up off of the tops of them. Like, these limbs were probably like 20 inches by themselves.
Wow.
Just the limbs.
Jeez.
And they had reiterations coming up off of them that were just small firs.
Reiterations within reiterations.
Yeah,
within
exactly.
reiterations.
And it was just insane. And this thing had some pretty wild rigging. If you check out his Instagram page, you can see the final top coming out of it.
Is that the Octopus Tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was the one.
Nice.
And it was right next to a brand new construction. Whoever bought the house or whoever bought the land and decided to build the house before they took out the massive, hazard tree right next to it.
So
Funny how that works.
So dumb. Like, just
it could have been such a cheaper estimate if you could have just sent those tops where that house was and then dropped the log.
It's a chop and drop versus rigging 12-inch pieces.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
come on, man.
Exactly. And I mean, a good third of that, or like quarter of that, we were able to drop straight down on the other side towards the road. But
sure.
we had to open and close the road like 20 times. And
Because it's Portland area.
yeah. Oh man. We had this one guy who was jogging past us, and he was just like looking at us, and then he put both of his middle fingers up and yelled, "Fuck you."
I'm on a run, motherfucker.
Yeah. And it was just like,
My time is more important than whatever the fuck you're doing.
exactly. And like people driving by in Porsches and all this shit, just like such a big inconvenience that they have to wait 1 minute. Anyway, the story isn't about the assholes of Portland. Anyway, it was a gnarly tree, and we had to take some pretty large logs off of that thing just to be able to drop the stem. We didn't feel like negative rigging it, obviously. So
Can't imagine why.
yeah, and we just took these big fat pieces. The largest piece that was up there, where the tops came out. Oh man, I didn't measure it, but it was like almost twice as tall as the mini skid, a CTX 100, and I was just like pushing it over, like trying to get it to go away so we could get one more log down. And it was a gnarly tree. It was really fun though. That was one of the more fun ones that I did recently.
It's always funny after you get done with those gnarly jobs. You're like, I was actually kind of fun, like trying to
Yeah.
using my brain and trying to figure this stuff out and using all the techniques that I've learned over the years and, trying to bring them all together into this one job. It's kind of great.
And then there's that drug adrenaline.
Yeah. It's my favorite when I walk away from something and I'm like, oh, I used like 4 different rigging techniques in one tree. Like, that's the coolest shit ever.
I mean, I wasn't climbing that one, but man, I had fun on the ground. Honestly.
And those are the greatest jobs. Like when even your groundsman, like, is having a great time just because he's doing all this complex rigging and he's having to think too.
I love complex rigging.
Dude,
that's my favorite thing.
So much fun.
If I'm just doing like boring like bundles coming straight down, it's like, it's just another day. But if I'm taking like big ass tops and we're just like having to swing shit over a house, that's my favorite.
That's my jams too, man.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
I fucking love it when I just have to know exactly when to let it run and let it smash out through. It's not much. It's not much better for me.
Ooh, that's
on the ground.
That's the flavor right there.
Yeah, that's the flavor.
Tomorrow, if we do the bigger tree, like we're not sure what we're moving. We're looking at a couple. We're like, maybe it's that one. And if it's that one, we're gonna set up some complicated rigging for the hell of it. Plus, we got like a bunch of arborists here.
Yeah,
we got all day.
Well,
it's gonna be fun.
Whatever we do tomorrow, there's gonna be complicated rigging. I have a feeling.
Yeah, just for the hell of it.
You know,
even if we do that little fucker.
Oh yeah,
even that little one. Yeah,
that little one. We're gonna zip line the whole damn tree.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh dude, we're building an English reeve. And we're gonna drop it right where we want it.
Dude, I've got all the shit for an English reeve. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm here for it.
It's gonna be great.
Oh man.
Going back to those crazy.
You know what? The Keanu.
I want it. So bad.
The big
I
plate.
I can't use it, but I want it so
I
bad.
think I was with you, Corey, and we were talking about it, and then it like hit me. I was like, "Oh, Keanu Reeves! It's an English Reeves. Keanu Reeves. That's why they named it that."
And then we actually, Andrew and I, in those London plane trees, remember? We actually came into a situation where we're like, "This is the perfect situation for one of those."
I don't remember right now.
It was like this branch that was way overextended over this house. So and there were other branches.
Oh
yeah. You remember that one?
Was that was the catalpa?
No, it was London plane. There was the catalpa, which was like way before we even started thinking about English reeves. But then there was the London plane trees right after the Keanu had dropped.
I thought the catalpa that was on Polk Street.
Oh, that's an awesome tree.
Yeah, no, that could have used it too.
That I remember us talking about it for that one.
Okay.
That's when we were talking about recreational rigging.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We did talk about it then. But then those London plane trees on near 8th Polk? No, not Polk. The next one down. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. But it was like a perfect situation. We could have set up one of those, and it was all the branches were overextended, but we had a rigging point back behind, and we could have worked it back in and then straight down. Because the issue was there was all this canopy on the the main trunk of the tree, right? So we couldn't just like zip line it, we couldn't speed line it, we couldn't use any kind of rigging to get it over that direction. What we needed to do was move it and then drop it
straight
right there.
down.
Exactly.
I'm not remembering, but it's because I think of so many ridiculous rigging situations, like over rig things in my mind so often that it like I have to delete some of it eventually.
Yeah,
but this was a legitimate one. This wasn't ridiculous. Yeah. This was one where it actually
it's all legitimate.
It's all legitimate.
It's all legitimate.
I picture coming up on a job site where you're like an English reeve is perfect for this. You just hear that noise like, oh, it's like glowing.
That was legitimately what it was. Like I was up in the boom and I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is great. Like I looked at this thing and I thought $700 for that. No way. Like there's no way. And then it all came together. Like the puzzle pieces all just like fell into place with this.
Did you build one?
No. we old schooled it. It was stupid.
Yeah. Man, now I'm pissed I can't remember that job.
Dude, it was like the perfect situation for an English reef.
Yeah.
It'll come around again.
It'll come around again.
Yeah.
It's not. We're gonna find some ways to incorporate that into our daily lives.
Yeah.
And you can build one without the Keanu.
You can. Like I said, I've got all the components for it.
Obviously, Keanu simplifies it. It's a pretty badass thing. But like a rigging hub, a couple
Mhm.
pulleys,
Which is
a
exactly
couple
what,
ropes.
just might be exactly what I have for the
Perfect. Yeah, that'd be fun. I've never set one up. I've never had that moment.
Yeah. No.
I've actually never even heard of one. So if I set one up, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
'Cause then I'd learn.
Basically, it's like a trolley. So like controlled speed line, you can go either way. And then the load can drop down at any point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Like a crane.
I've definitely
Set
seen
up.
like a
Yeah.
mobile
Yeah.
crane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely done controlled speed line, but I've never done that
Yeah.
sort of deal.
Yeah, it's like the I was gonna make a Pokemon reference.
You should
like
definitely do it. Do
the
it.
next step up.
It's like the evolution.
Yeah,
of
it's like the
controlled speed
Raichu.
line.
If Pikachu's a control speed line,
So there's
it's
the
Raichu.
pulley, and then there's the controlled speed line, and then
Yeah.
there's the English reef, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
The Squirtle, the
So when a daddy pulley
I don't remember
meets
Squirtle's
a
evolution.
controlled speed line, it births an English reef.
Hey, come on.
Yeah.
People in the Midwest listen to this. They don't want to hear that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh man, we're in a cool spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Surrounded by Sitka spruce and hemlock.
It just is nice. Just the fresh air.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Yeah, the coastal range, you really can't beat the air here.
No.
The smell.
Dude,
Just-
and go ahead. Finish.
No, just I was just thinking like the ambiance. Just there's no sound out here. Just the natural.
the
Natural
creek,
feeling.
the ocean.
Yeah.
The difference between the coastal range and the Cascades is just immense, man. Like
Yeah,
just driving out here, I was looking at the trees and I'm like, wow, I haven't seen a dead tree for
Yeah.
6 miles.
Yeah.
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 This is nuts. And like in the Cascades, it's like dead tree, dead tree, dead tree. Wow,
Yeah.
we're fucked. Like this is bad. This is real
Yeah.
bad. But out here, like just so much more moisture, so much more rainfall. It
It's
changes
true.
a lot.
And also like the crazy windswept trees.
Oh man.
Like
Yeah.
oh my
love
god.
that.
I've seen some gnarly horizontal
Bonsai
like,
looking things.
Yeah.
I always
it's
think
just-
of this old advertisement for, I think it was like Maxwell or something, like some CD or audio company, where it's this guy sitting in a chair
Oh
in
yeah.
front of a speaker.
Yeah.
And like all of his
Oh,
shit's been
yeah.
blown back.
I have never made that connection, but that is the quintessential shore pine to me.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
short
That is a shore
pine.
pine.
Yeah.
Like, if I never climb a shore pine again for the rest of my life, it'll be too soon. but like, there's so much like that.
Yeah.
Just they're nuts.
It's just their hair going behind them. They're in a convertible, just like
Convertible going 80 miles an hour.
yeah,
Yeah. Man, what a beautiful property.
yeah,
I'm kidding.
yeah. Tomorrow we'll do a little work, do a little rec climbing, hang out with some people,
Do a little drinking.
Yeah.
drinking.
Do a lot of drinking.
Oh yeah, right. Good call.
So we got the platform we climbed last night, which is about 70 feet up and has a
Tonight.
tonight. We just got down.
We just got done.
Sorry. And great view of the ocean, just beautiful spot. I'm sure we'll make it up there again. But
Might have a
then
podcast up there.
yeah, well, we'll see if we can get
That'd be pretty
electricity up there
That's a big kicker.
We'll at least get up there to make some videos so we can show you guys.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
And then how big are the trees downhill from us?
I feel like I heard that one was 270.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one
Is
rig.
that right?
I wouldn't
Yeah.
doubt it. Was it the one in the draw or up on the ridge?
Yeah, in the draw. And then Corey and I, last time we were out here, we bushwhacked. That was quite a. I think getting back was harder,
It was definitely hard.
but we We knew there was a tree rigged at somewhere on this like ridge line behind us, and we just like set out looking for it. Did you have coordinates?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, you
no,
did.
We're good. We're good.
You did at the time or no?
I have them currently in my phone.
But you didn't at the time.
No.
Yeah, so we just went looking.
It was just
found
like
it.
it's kind of southwest of here. You'll see the big orange paracord. It'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just get out there, do your thing.
We found it. But
And you were
hiking
fine.
through the Pacific Northwest, the temperate rainforest, ferns up to your chest.
8 foot
What's that?
salal.
Salal, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, salal that covers your head.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Steep slopes, loam slipping out under your feet.
And the thing
Creeks to
was,
cross.
Spruce rats.
like,
I didn't even think
those
about
are the
this.
worst. I forgot I had to get rabies shot after that.
Yeah.
That was fucking awful.
The only rodent with a venom sac.
It really is.
Yeah.
And they spit it. They don't just bite you with it. They spit it.
Brutal.
Are they relatives to the black locust? So it's also venom.
Yeah.
Distantly related, but they are related. I think the problem with us coming back was like we were like, hey, coming in here was pretty hard. Let's take a different route.
Yeah, we took a different route.
So we thought we'd be smarter. And
Wait, so you bushwhacked in and then you bushwhacked out?
it sounded better at the time, Dakota, but it wasn't.
We actually took different routes at a certain point.
We did.
And I took the worst route, I think. maybe you think you took the worst one.
It might be a tough. Who
pretty
knows?
sure I
Who
did.
knows?
I was like, the forest was over my head. My entire body was in the undergrowth.
You're tunneling.
Yeah.
Sounds like the Pacific Northwest. We're talking about this beautiful rainforest. On one second, we're like, oh man, the windswept trees. It's so beautiful. And then
It's
2
so
seconds
cool.
later, we're like, and then I was tunneling through the forest.
It's hard to get through.
Oh, yeah.
Actually have to. If you look at it, it's great. If you actually have to walk through it or do anything,
Oh.
It's
in it,
fucking awful.
Yeah.
Just stay on the trails.
yeah, just
Yeah.
trails. Trails are there for a reason, kids.
Do what the signs tell you.
So I'm wondering why you guys split up. Were you like, I want to go this way? No, fuck that.
Yeah,
This
basically.
is the way.
I don't know.
Without that, I mean, that's definitely what I was thinking. I was like, that looks pretty rough. I'm going to go down this way, and then it wound up being.
And
rough.
I just went.
Yeah, you just went, and
Yeah.
I just went, and we both learned a valuable lesson. I
Yep.
don't know what it was, but it was a valuable lesson.
Yep. I remember crying, yelling, Corey. That was my lesson.
The lesson, I
Stick
think.
with
is-
Corey.
Yeah. Or follow the bushwhack trail.
That was the big lesson that we took away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So are we going to go find this tree or?
Fuck yeah, we are, man.
We know where it's at now.
Yeah.
I got the coordinates. Let me.
But we kept pointing at trees. We're like, it's that one. And we finally,
Bushwhack.
bushwhack our way to it.
And
Like, nope.
We look
There's
all
no
around.
coordinate.
Yeah, we look all around the base of it. No.
Yeah.
And we finally found it, and we're like, okay. I think we saw the cord from a ways away. We were like, oh, it's got an orange cord.
Yeah. But we probably said that for like 6 trees. Like, oh yeah, I see the cord.
Probably. That's the only thing that kept us going. Like after the first tree, if we hadn't seen another tree with a coordinate that we thought had a coordinate.
But we did see some cool stuff. I remember just straight shot from us here, there's a huge, it must have been a spruce with a big hollow cavity halfway
yeah.
up.
Oh, wow.
I remember Scott Altenhoff telling us the story about him. It was a sequoia tree, right? With that big hollow.
Yep.
It was.
And he got into the hollow of this sequoia tree and went 100 feet down
Yeah.
in the trunk of a sequoia. I just thought it'd be cool to climb that tree and peek your head in at least.
See what kind of
See-
cave.
yeah,
system
see what
he's
you
got.
decide to go, What's your heart telling you from there?
Go back to the ground.
Yeah.
No, but that I remember that tree. That thing.
Yeah.
So goddamn cool. Yep, I've got the coordinates. Don't worry, we can
We can bushwhack.
We can know where it is, and we can bushwhack. Probably the same trail that we took the first time, because there's new growth.
Yeah.
Anybody bring a machete?
Yeah.
I
Probably forgot it.
I remembered about Newport on my way in. I'm like, a machete would have been good.
Yeah.
I have a 201.
Should have brought a hedge trimmer if it's allowed. Just
Yeah. Oh, hell
You know
yeah,
what?
man.
If we're in,
Speaking of the 201.
if we can't have a fire tonight, do you think we can run chainsaws past a certain time?
Fine. It's internal combustion. They call it internal combustion.
what? Yeah. What about an electric saw?
Oh yeah, we're electric sawing the fuck out of that tree.
Especially if it's a small one. If it's a smaller tree.
Doesn't matter what size.
I just
We got a
have-
540i, man. We're good to go.
I thought you were just talking about an electric saw that has like a sound emitter on it. You know,
Oh, like the
it just sounds like a real saw.
it does.
Oh, like
it's
they're
just
supposed
an
to do on
electric
like
saw, you
electric
know?
cars or whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like, ma'am. I know it's past fire danger, but like it just has a sound emitter.
It's
Don't
just
worry.
kind of sound.
It just
don't-
sounds like a real saw.
It has a sound emitter and it also has a dry ice emitter, so that's what the smoky looking thing is.
Oh, that'd be
Occasionally it shoots out some sparks. I mean, don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
Oh, dude, my saw's almost out of dry ice. It's going to stop smoking.
Let me
shit.
send it down. Put in some more liquid dry ice. It looks
a
like
lot-
it smells like gas, but don't worry about it.
It might also burn like gas, but don't think
It
about
looks like your chainsaw has a problem.
it. Just the dry ice emitter. Don't worry about it.
Next
You're
time
like-
somebody asks for me for gas, I'm gonna be like, "Oh wait, so you want the dry ice, right?"
Are those sound emitters like required in certain states for vehicles or anything like that?
Yeah.
I've heard about
I'm
them.
pretty sure they're required in all states because they have to make some sort of sound, or else you
Really?
don't know they're there.
I feel like Tesla's.
I've had a Prius
You mean-
fucking sneak up on me like more than once.
Oh yeah.
You mean the little whir isn't enough to key in that there's a
No.
1,000-pound vehicle moving
Yeah,
towards you?
sometimes I don't think about the sounds
No,
around
no,
me, and I hear like a.
Being 100% sarcastic, whir is not enough to notify you that there's a multi-ton vehicle moving towards you. That is just
So that's the sound.
whir. No.
It's like a. Well, some of them make like a weird angelic noise. They're like, oh.
Yeah, no, they
It's
do.
kind of
They
fucking
do.
weird.
They do. It's like the clouds are parting and
Yeah.
the Raptor
It's like
Raptors.
Raptors. Oh, here it is. I'm going to hell.
I knew the bad decision would catch up with me eventually.
So Teslas, you can set the horn to La Cucaracha.
That is
And you can also make it so it plays La Cucaracha as you accelerate.
Oh, that is
Nice.
I think, yeah.
that is
It'd
how
be cool
much.
if it was customizable and it became like ringtones. But no, it wouldn't be.
No, it kind of is.
It'd be more like, what was that? Ring back, when you would call someone way back in the day.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And
and it would
a
play
song. Yeah.
whatever
For them.
song they wanted. But everyone ran out of money or didn't pay for it again, so everyone got that same like violin music. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but
don't?
I believe you.
I remember
think
like
I'm too
you'd
young
hear
for
like,
this.
oh, my buddy's got like this sick ring back of like Snoop Dogg or whatever, and then like the next week it was just like this violin music. You're like, oh, he forgot to pay.
My buddy's
Probably
fucking
Extra
broke.
$3.99.
because it got 3,000 people calling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It bumped them up to the next tier or whatever.
but yeah, maybe the Teslas like you could choose
No, you
gin
can
and juice
choose
while you're driving.
That'd be sick if you could download songs.
Yeah.
and put 'em on your- as you're
Force people to
accelerating.
Some people already do that, I guess.
Yeah,
Windows down and like you're listening to what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
That's how
No.
I feel when
That
people.
I feel like that's a norm. That's not a that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not an abnormal thing.
That's how I
anymore.
feel when people are like walking around in grocery stores with their radios like blaring music, and it's like, what the
Damn.
fuck?
Dude, even
Why?
on the fucking sidewalk.
Speakerphone.
Yeah, on the sidewalk.
like
too,
just-
yeah,
Headphones, man. Come on.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
have you ever heard of
backpacks
it?
with speakers built into the backpacks.
Exactly.
Not
So
even-
it's just like a boombox
Yeah, and not
coming out
even,
of your backpack.
not even just that, just like the little Bluetooth speakers that you can
Oh, yeah.
like those things are loud,
Yeah.
especially if you're anywhere within a block of the person who's actually like playing the music.
I feel like speakerphone conversations in public,
Oh, it's the
unless
worst.
something's wrong with your phone, you're a sociopath.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. Yes, you are absolutely a sociopath.
You're standing in line in the grocery store and you got to hear.
What?
Yeah.
What? I can't hear you. It's always people who. Never mind.
Yeah, when I'm answering a bid, I always put them on speakerphone so I can go through my notepad. But then, like, other people, like, bother me about it because they can hear the person talking to me. And I'm like, okay, come on. I got a reason for it.
Like, hey, we're at a Starbucks. Everybody does this.
Exactly.
Personal space means nothing here.
Yeah. It's a crazy world we live in, man. Axel, my son who's 6, and his little buddy who's 6, we're at our neighbor's. We were all hanging out in front of the neighbor's house, and they've got a Tesla. And so they let the 2 6-year-olds in their Tesla, which I thought was a horrible idea. But they were able to pull up video games.
Nice.
And so they've got that big screen, so they're playing race games, but they're actually turning the steering
Whoa,
wheel in the
that's
car
cool.
to steer the
That's
to steer the
sick.
race games. But it's 2 6-year-olds, so they're jumping around on the seat,
Yeah.
steering the wheel. Like,
Slamming on the pedal.
yeah,
How did
oh,
they
yeah.
not see that was a bad idea?
But they didn't care. They're like, it's awesome. That's why it's there.
Well, yeah, because they're 6. But like
That
the
might-
engineer who put that
no.
into the design parameters, like,
Corey, don't.
Yeah, no, I think
thought it
it's
was a good idea.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome.
Oh, that's so cool.
I
Just
wouldn't let
that
a
by
6-year-old
myself
do
makes
it. You know, if I had a Tesla, I wouldn't like let the neighbor's 6-year-old
Yeah.
do that. But
you-
that's because I have awesome neighbors, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, they were just going nuts in that thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, jumping around. I was like, oh my God.
Honestly,
They're like, oh, don't worry about it. That's why it's there.
that's why
Yeah.
it's
so that's
there.
it's there.
I mean, I thought
It's
it was
for
more
video
An
games.
engineer thought of this, so engineers know all. Yes, just let it go.
Yeah.
That by itself makes me want to buy a Tesla.
Oh yeah, Teslas are sick. If I had enough money to buy a Tesla, I'd be all about it. But
Frankly, my issue with electric vehicles is like the
They don't have
batteries.
ringback tones yet.
They don't have ringback tones.
If I can't program it to play All Stars, I'm driving down the street. You know,
I think there should be a fine for that.
It's the Smash Mouth song, though.
Yeah, I think everyone knows.
yeah. Hey now.
Thank you.
Suddenly, I'm in a Shrek movie.
Yeah.
But like my issue with it is like the batteries that aren't recyclable. You know,
What's wrong with that? Just put them in a
Just
landfill.
put
You
'em-
don't have to think.
No, you launch them into the sun.
Fuck yeah.
exactly.
I actually heard
Let's
this on,
spend millions of dollars to launch it into the sun.
Yeah.
on a podcast today, and we can edit
It's
this
actually-
out if you want to. During the Reagan administration,
Reagan did bad things.
yeah, so
Never.
Reagan had this thing where people would send him letters, and he would just kind of accept whatever was sent to him as fact. And someone
Sounds
had
legit.
told him this idea to get rid of nuclear waste. We could, compress the matter into like golf ball sized things and launch them into the ocean.
Genius.
One of his
Did
advisors.
someone with a big shot launching nuclear waste into the ocean?
One of
The
his
president
advisors.
pays me to do this.
Plutonium.
One of his advisors told him to save that one for later, I think is what they said.
Oh my god.
Save it for later.
And the people I was listening to, it's the Dollop. It's a great podcast. They were like, yeah, he probably said, Reagan, that one's way too good. We need to hold on. We need to hold on to that one.
Leader of the free world, and he listened to it like probably a 6-year-old or a teenager who's just like, hey, let's fuck with these people.
Can you imagine being the advisor though? Like, I could do anything.
Yeah.
I could convince the president.
Exactly.
He wants
Yeah,
to
I-
send radioactive golf
That was
balls
a-
into the ocean.
I could literally fuck us for generations
Yeah.
because this man is too stupid to know otherwise.
That was the thing multiple people said, was that Reagan would take the first thing he heard as fact and like regurgitate it and like talk to other people about it. So like the people I was listening to were like, oh, we could have had so much fun with that. Imagine if you were in his cabinet.
Oh man.
Certain things didn't pan out so great, but thank God that there weren't worse people as his advisors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it could be a lot
It was
worse.
bad enough.
It's bad
Yeah.
enough, but it could be a lot worse.
Oh god.
Well, depending on your opinions. It was bad
Yeah.
enough.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna. No politics. No politics on this podcast.
I know, that's why I said edit it out if you want.
No, no,
Go
no.
in there. The Gipper.
Yeah, the good old Gipper. Well, someday it'll trickle down.
Yep.
Someday.
Someday we'll make America great again, and bring us back to those golden days.
This is Tree Thinking After Dark.
Yep.
Yeah. This
So dumb.
might get a little wild.
Like a little while.
Yeah.
Corey's not wearing a shirt.
Nope.
Yeah.
Or pants. But
But Dakota's wearing Corey's shirt.
don't ask. Don't ask.
It's actually really comfy.
Right? That's the Egyptian cotton, man.
I knew you were high class.
Yeah, Corey goes by thread count.
Fuck yeah, I do. 10,000 or more. That's my rule.
Don't worry, I'll edit that out.
No, you won't.
Dude,
Yeah, you can go ahead. And,
Smash Mouth All-Star. That's the greatest thing I've heard. A Tesla rolling up on you.
That's the worst thing I've heard. What are you talking about?
It's gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
The second I make enough pennies to get myself a Tesla, it's
Man.
gonna have All-Star on it.
Just so funny.
Corey in his Cybertruck bumping All-Star.
Well, it's gonna
When
take
you
me. At
know-
least, I'm gonna be dead by the time I can afford a Cybertruck. So
One of those people who get famous after you die.
basically, all the fame,
That'd
but
be
I can't do anything
unfortunate.
with it.
Yeah.
Damn.
But hey, I'm
Man.
immortal. Everybody remembers my name, so that's something.
Anything about trees to
Yeah.
bring this home?
I don't know. I've been trying to think.
How do we? I mean,
Terraforming Mars? You want to go there?
Trees on Mars,
maybe.
dude.
I feel like they'd start with algae first, though. Like,
Yeah.
not trees.
Yeah, let's get water on Mars first,
There
and
you
then
go.
let's get algae, and then we'll move on to fish, and then maybe sometime we'll get trees.
Yeah.
But which tree first?
Christmas.
Okay.
And the American has spoken.
Christmas tree first. Every time.
The thing about it is that'll probably be the first tree on Mars. Will be a Christmas tree.
I know.
Let's face it. Doesn't matter. It's a Christmas tree.
Oh, it'll probably be plastic.
From China.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos will
China
show up
straight to
with
Mars.
it himself.
Yeah.
just scratched out China and has a big American flag right now. Made in American flag.
Oh man.
Yeah. Bezos came back from space
Yeah.
rocking a cowboy hat.
Unfortunately,
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't get stuck up there. That's too bad.
that's way too bad.
Yeah. So we've had Richard Branson and Bezos get to space, and so I guess Elon Musk will be the next.
Yeah.
Oh,
So a billionaire space race, galactic tour. No, not galactic. Solar tour. No.
Tourism.
Tourism of the. How would you say that?
Cosmic tourism.
Yeah.
Is it
There's so
cosmic?
many names.
Yeah. Anyway, tourism with no, rhyme or reason to it. They're not exploring. They're not like collecting moon rocks and.
No, there's been tons of people that have already been there. It's not like
They kind of just
they're
get
going
outs-
on the first trip to
It
space.
doesn't fucking
Yeah,
matter.
You know,
they
It
kind
doesn't-
of just
so-
get outside
And
of atmosphere.
I
and then
didn't
that's
follow it too much. Was his rocket reusable? Like, what's
It was
the
shaped.
Tesla one, the
it
Dragon or
was
whatever?
Falcon.
It was shaped like a dildo. It had to be reusable.
It was very phallic. Did you see all those memes of remember Austin Powers?
Yes.
I don't remember which one it was, but
The second one.
Dr. Evil had a spaceship that was just a big cock and balls, basically. So there was a bunch of memes that were like mashing up those videos.
Oh,
It's
God.
really funny.
Bezos was like, "Yes, perfect. I'll make that rocket."
It's kind
And
of
he kind of looks like Dr. Evil too.
It really
It's
does.
funny.
It really does. If you just did the pinky
Bald
to
guy.
the mouth kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild to me that like Elon Musk owns SpaceX or owned, but he hasn't been to space. Like, why is Bezos to space before he is?
Probably because he's richer.
I don't know.
It's all about.
I
how
mean,
much
yeah,
money.
maybe.
Well,
Like,
have they either really been to space? I mean, they got right
Yeah.
to the edge of the atmosphere.
it's
And they
literally
like
right
floated
outside
for
the
like
atmosphere.
30 seconds or something like that, or it might have been couple minutes,
Right.
and then they just came back down.
Jamie just said pussies.
Jamie just walked away and take piss and pussy.
Pussies.
Yeah.
Dropping the mic.
But I mean, that's something that we've been doing for like 40 years or something, where they go up to the edge of the atmosphere and then dive down, so
Okay,
they get
all right.
Yeah,
like
for the
weightlessness.
for the
Let's-
zero gravity.
Let's back it up a little bit.
Okay.
Yuri Gagarin, the first person to ever fucking do that, proved that we could actually fucking do that, right?
Yeah.
Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or whatever the fuck, billionaire, like, we've done it a million times by now. Like, what are they doing?
So I think that's why Elon hasn't done that, because I don't
it's
think
not extravagant enough.
Yeah, he's not looking to like go weightless for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Elon is looking to go be the president of Mars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He sets the bar a little bit higher.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Is what
See,
I think.
I can respect that. Like,
Yeah.
just half-assing it and halfway blowing your load. No, like Mars.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I can get behind that, even though, I hate billionaires.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos, were kind of like, okay, we did it. You know what I mean?
And now they're done.
It'll be interesting to see if they keep going.
Right.
So like now that they've been to space, can we eat the rich?
Mm-hmm. I think it's still too soon for that. We'll get there, though.
Darn.
Yeah. No.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure they taste quite opulent.
Probably.
It is kind of ridiculous that you have these billionaires going into space with all the issues the world's having right now. It just shows you how disconnected they are and how much money they're making off of everybody else's tragedies.
But I mean, I heard Jeff Bezos, he can tackle both world issues, all the world issues, and going to
All of
space.
okay.
So
with free shipping for $100 a year.
You know,
yeah,
I
I don't see. a
I
problem with that.
personally, I can't really judge someone for taking advantage of capitalism because that's how this country's run.
No, it's like
Um,
it's like the
I'm a
best
total
system to be
capitalist.
wrote.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
You
Here
know,
we- here
there
we
are
go.
flaws, but it's like,
Here we go.
Yeah.
dude, Joke and I were just talking about this on the drive up here. We
Yeah.
listened to a podcast about Ronald Reagan and talking about capitalism.
Like you can speak about Reaganomics all fucking day. Like,
But it is
Fuck.
like,
speaking of,
in my opinion, the best system we wrote, but there's plenty of flaws,
Well, all right. If we're going down this,
Yeah,
you
this is
know.
weird. We might have to edit some
Yeah,
stuff.
and we might edit it. We got about an hour of good tree talk in there,
absolutely, yeah.
But
I don't want
yeah, and
I don't want to me saying pussies to be on there.
yeah,
That's an edit point, Andrew.
yeah. The thing is capitalism has helped us build what we have in this country. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
But it's what we don't have right now is true capitalism, right? Because the biggest companies are allowed to buy their competition
Yeah.
and crush them. And that's not what has created the greatness of capitalism. The greatness of capitalism is when you're forced to compete and make the better product.
Yeah.
Right. But if you get to the point where you can just buy your competition, crush them so that you're not forced to innovate and forced to become a better product, then it's not the same thing.
I think my favorite recent example is Uber.
Yeah.
You know how like taxi cab was like the thing,
Yeah.
And then Uber and
there was
Lyft
like a
came
mom
around,
and pop
and it's
sort of
just
thing.
like so much better simply because they made it so you could pull it up on your phone, click, and a driver's on its way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It streamlined the service entirely.
Yeah, but you kind of feel bad. I mean, I imagine there's a taxi cab union and all that stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Like it's a
And if you get into the Uber thing, like, they're paying their people basically nothing because they call each of them private contractors, right?
yeah, they're subs. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
same for Grubhub and DoorDash and all those other services like your mom and pop pizza shop.
but it's a
They'll-
good side gig.
Yeah, for people that
I don't know.
works
That's a tough
for.
one
It's a good side gig if you're a surf.
if you're a surf.
Yeah, if you're
Like surf, like
if you're not a lord or lady.
yeah,
Yeah.
bingo, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, feudalism, thank you. Yes,
Feudalism.
I knew the spelling SERF, right?
yes.
But what exactly this is a surf.
just
It's
above
been a while since
Just
I've been
above
in
a peasant, but not quite a lord.
school. Okay.
But yeah, I I feel like it's very flawed nowadays because those larger companies can not only buy out the smaller ones, but they can avoid having a level playing field entirely by not paying taxes as high as those smaller businesses.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with monopolies. We haven't been fighting it in this country for, our entire existence. So I don't see a problem with monopolies. Let's just give into it, just roll over and, let them have our way with us.
Yeah, if a big stump grinding company came through and said, "Oh, I'll buy your business for $20,000, or I'm gonna ruin your reputation," I'm gonna be like, "Oh, huh."
That's a tough
$20,000 sounds pretty good.
I might not be able to eat after that $20,000 is up. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
$20,000.
And then
$20,000.
And then I'll become employed by you. And then I'll fucking grind stumps for a quarter of, or a tenth of what I was gonna make before that.
But they'll track my progress so that I'll have to pee in a bottle between jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll have a little camera on the stump grinder, and my hand wasn't quite right on that positioner, so I'm gonna get fired for that.
Well, the crazy thing with Amazon is how they're having artificial intelligence fire people.
Really, they are.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
So if your analytics aren't up to a certain point, you'll just get an email from it wasn't set by a person. It was just
insane.
the analytics didn't. You weren't getting everything all. You weren't getting to your appointments. The way the computer thought you should. So they just send you an email saying you're fired.
And I'm sorry. We are social creatures.
Yeah, no, that is bullshit.
That is
I would way rather
Kidding
have
me?
a
That's
person.
utopian. I'm down.
Oh, God.
Oh, wait, what's the word? Dystopian.
Dystopian. Yeah,
sorry.
1984, Brave New World. Let's bring it on, man. I don't fucking care.
God. I'd way rather have a manager walk up to me and say, "Fuck you, you're not doing enough." And then have some asshole computer be like, "Sorry, sir, you've been terminated because you're not quite productive enough.
You didn't quite meet our performance
Please
metrics.
clock out on your timesheet and leave."
You cannot use the rest of your vacation time. Your sick time is now null.
Yeah, exactly. I'd way rather have some asshole walk up to me and tell me that I'm a piece of shit.
Me too, actually. Because then I could hate him instead of the system.
I have somebody to direct my anger toward.
Should we try to wrap up the tree-related podcast so that we can kind of edit out?
Yeah, I figure I'll edit this out and then I'll just save it so it could be a Patreon thing,
Yeah.
some political talk.
Yeah.
Some of it could be in there. Who knows? But
some beers
You
and some
never
politics
Yeah.
on Patreon or something.
This one took a turn.
Yeah, no.
I don't even remember where it took the turn, but
where's that whiskey?
Make it smart,
Probably
God damn it, make it smart.
that was probably somewhere near my second seltzer.
All right, so
Trees?
trees. What? Tomorrow we're gonna be doing tree stuff.
What's the deal with trees, man?
Okay, so what we need to figure out for tomorrow is
What tree we're removing?
No, we got Eric come. Yeah, that for sure. But we got Eric coming with the cameras.
Huh?
We got. Did we bring all the tree stuff?
I think so.
I got the pulley and false crotch.
Do we have tree
Cool.
stuff here? I brought the pole saw.
Cool. And so hopefully Becca brought the lanyard.
Yep.
If not, though, we should make a video somehow using all that equipment.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's going to happen. Like in the removal, we're going to use every piece of that equipment.
Yeah, I
Even if it's-
envision like a controlled speed line with the notch rigging block. And I'm
Notch
sure
rigging
Eric
block
can get
TM.
some really cool shots of someone setting it. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, but if it's this larger tree, be
Yeah.
cool to see some cool shots of us way at the top setting the rigging.
Notch rigging block TM by notch.
Yeah, TM by
Pl-
notch.
Please.
It's a sweet pulley, man.
It's a really sweet pulley.
It looks pretty nice. No lie.
So
They did think of everything.
Not
on
this
it.
big.
the other thing is, can you think of any recreational rigging stuff we might want to do?
We have to bring a keg up to the top of that platform.
Well, we don't have a keg. So
Yahat's Brewing
Next time.
Yeah,
is
I guess
within
that's
walking
true.
distance
That's
of here.
true. Yeah,
we
fair
could
enough.
fucking walk a keg.
It's only 2
Yeah.
miles.
Yeah.
Andrew has a strong back. He can carry it.
So I'm wondering.
And then when Andrew breaks down, Dakota, he'll
Yep.
he'll
There
take
you
it
go. I'll
off.
so
take over.
block 1, Dakota will take over.
Yep.
No, so I'm thinking we got the notch pole saw, we got the rigging block, we got the false crotch. How do we build a trebuchet?
Oh.
I mean,
Because
A lot of throw weights.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Or you fell the tree, it uses the pole saw as leverage.
We use
Put
Jamie,
this notch pull
just
saw to the
destroy
test.
we use Jamie as a counterweight. We just put him up in his saddle, just ready to go.
I think we're onto something.
No, Jamie and I can like hug really close together and then take our tie off at the exact same time that the pendulum comes. So we fly into the canopies.
That sounds like a great plan. My only question is, how close are you hugging?
As close as we can.
Like,
Yeah, there's only one way to hug, dude.
Might be our last hug.
Yeah, yeah. Every hug should be fully committed.
it'll
Yeah, I'm just
certainly be
saying.
our last hug.
Yeah. One way or the other. Well,
This was fun.
Yeah,
this is a fun one.
That was a good wrap up.
And this is gonna be hopefully the first of a couple.
It'd be cool if we could do 3 while
Yeah.
we're here, man.
So we could try to
Tomorrow night?
not try to do one tonight because we did one tonight.
We did one tonight. It is tonight right now. We're doing
Yeah.
one right now.
We're gonna need to do a recap tomorrow night.
Obviously.
We're gonna have to kind of tell the stories of the trebuchet.
And then a hungover,
Sunday morning or something.
the
Yeah.
hangover one Sunday morning. When we're regretful of whatever we did the day before or the night before, or who was running around naked in the woods. Who knows? Who knows? It doesn't matter now. We're hungover.
Corey's
so-
weekend is planned already.
Full commit hugs,
Yeah.
running around naked in the woods.
That's camping.
That's camping. All right. Well, Dakota, you got any final thoughts for tonight?
Oh man. Hug your tree guys tight. That's all I got.
That's a good thing to end on. My hands smell like spruce right now. That's my final thoughts. I'm gonna be smelling that all goddamn night long.
That's a good smell.
And it's not so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I'm just making a statement.
Final
Final
thoughts.
thoughts.
Worst smelling tree is a cottonwood.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
Siberian elm's pretty bad too.
I think cottonwood takes it.
I'm gonna go on a little story real quick.
Do it
wrap
to
up.
it. Yeah.
And we'll wrap.
Do you ever work a cottonwood tree? Like say you're doing a removal or whatever, and then you got to go to the grocery store right after work before going home. And you're standing in line, and all of a sudden you can smell yourself.
You
That-
smell
that-
pure piss.
That's the worst.
That,
Yeah.
that brief moment of clarity, and you're like, "Oh man, I've been
Yeah.
smelling like this."
It's
for
like, hey everyone,
6
I promise you I'm clean. I'm a clean guy. I just-
I
yeah.
washed these clothes before I wore them.
Yeah.
I promise you.
I remember once like working a pine or something, doing a pine removal, and the lady at the counter was like, "Oh, you smell like a tree. You do tree work?" And I was like, "Well, that's nice, but if it was a cottonwood, you'd be like, you wouldn't say a word to me.
You smell like piss.
Oh God, another
You'd be
bum.
checking me out really fast." Final thought though, for real, it's cool being out here with you guys. We're kind of cutting loose a little bit tonight. We'll do some
A little bit.
tree work tomorrow, and hopefully we can just kind of capture this whole weekend because we got a bunch of great people coming to hang out with us, climb some big trees, do a little tree work.
Yeah, we just missed Tim. Tim Kovar was just here climbing
Yeah.
these trees.
I saw his pictures on.
Yep, on
video
Thursday
Instagram.
or Wednesday and Thursday or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, damn it.
he
Just
didn't want to
missed him.
stick around.
No, he heard we were coming, so he's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, we got to get out of here."
Dan's coming tomorrow.
Yep, Dan's gonna be here tomorrow.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is kind of an epic weekend, and we'll try to capture as much of it as we can and share as much of it as we can. And hopefully we can do more of these like meetups, you know.
Oh yeah, no. Hopefully
Tree
get to-
Thinking Hangouts or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Tree Thinking Hangouts, that's a good name. We were
Yeah.
thinking we need to figure out a good name, but you may have just coined it, Tree
There you
Thinking
go.
Hangout.
Yeah.
But sweet.
Yeah. I got other names, but stay tuned.
Oh man, we got a cliffhanger. Tree Thinking cliffhanger.
But you have to download the next episode. 5-star review.
Yeah. Right on. Well, I don't know. What a fun night. It's kind of funny giving a final thought because, it's night number 1, So with that, I'll say stay safe. And we're just getting started.
Yeah. Hey, now you're an all-star.
Go play.